out you publicly.
Told Karen all about Ben.
I know about Ben. It's hot.
You like hearing about a hot gay action involving me? Is that what you like hearing about?
Sure, why not?
So, how's life?
Life has been very interesting since I moved to Wisconsin.
Oh my god, this is way too loud.
As you know already, but they don't. They might not.
It's called a recap, yeah.
It's called a recap. At the
Jack
end,
is coming. We started early.
Yeah.
Jack's not here yet.
and I'm leaving relatively early.
Karen's leaving relatively early, so I'm like, we'll just start.
So, let's see. End of July, I left my job in Illinois, and I came up here, and I got myself a job at Amazon, and nothing against their employees, nothing against their managers. I mean, really, I had no problems with them, but hello. But I just didn't like the work. I was a stower. And
What the fuck is a stower?
a stower is...
At Amazon.com, at their warehouse.
yes, in Kenosha.
Yeah.
And it was a little bit of a commute too. Plus, it was a 10-hour day with a half-hour lunch, so a 10-and-a-half-hour day and about an hour commute when you count both ways. And it was about to get into prime, and prime means prime means that you're sort of
has
working.
nothing to do with Amazon Prime.
Right, prime, peak. I call it prime. No, it has nothing to do with Amazon Prime. Peak. They were about to
because you're thinking about Amazon Prime.
Yes.
That's why I had to jump in and help you out there.
Yeah, I needed an
Joe's
intervention.
got that one really wrong.
I did. I wasn't there
Oh,
that
you
long.
prick!
But when you stow, you scan a box, and you scan like a tote, and you scan what's inside of it, and then you scan where you're going to put it, because these robots bring you these big
At the magical Amazon
mesh
warehouse.
cubby things.
What's a cubby thing? What's it?
You know, I can't even think of what they called them.
Like a thing of shelves?
It was made of cloth, and it had sort of like a closet cube with about 10 times as many slots, and most of them were filled, and you had to try to find a place to put whatever shit they gave you in the slots and scan it for 10 hours a day or 11 hours a day if it was busy, 4 days a week, 5 days a week. I've heard of some people were doing stuff 6 days a week. I can't imagine they were stowing. I didn't enjoy it, and I didn't absolutely need to do it, so I got out of that. And I went and got myself a job in the industry that I had been working in down there. And while I was in the interviewing process for that, a lady at my church said, how important to you is it that you get the job that you're interviewing for? Because she knew I was interviewing for a job. And I said,
at a grocery store. You get
at a grocery store, yeah. And because that's where I had been working in grocery stores. I've done other things, but in recent years I've been working in grocery stores down there. And I said, well, I'd like to get it, but if I don't get it, I'm sure I'll find something else. And she told me about a job where she was working in the healthcare industry. And I thought, well, most of my experience is in retail. I do have some healthcare experience. I'll give it a shot. In the meantime, I was also interviewing. As far as grocery work and getting in a union, honestly, the union stores are, and I'm speaking no other mention. Is the audio bad? Is that better?
What's bad with the audio? Who's bad? Are you quiet? Am I loud?
So
I'm very confused.
Tobin the Gnome said he worked at a grocery store cleaning up the meat department at night. Wow, I hope you're better than this guy we had down in Illinois who got so happy with the water that there were sparks shooting 6 feet out of the electrical outlet, and they had to call the fire department because nobody that was there at the time knew where the breaker was. But I digress. So I got my job at the grocery store, and before I even started at the grocery store, the same day I got my schedule for the grocery store, I got a call from the other job, which was full-time with benefits and higher pay. And so basically the first day I went to the grocery store, I actually started at my shift. The people were really nice. I got along great with them, and I said, I hate to tell you this, but I'm pretty sure I have another job pending my drug test and background check, which I knew wouldn't be an issue.
They weren't bad to you. You were only there a couple weeks.
Oh yeah, no, I liked the grocery store job.
Yeah, you only there 1 week.
I was there 2 weeks, and the the manager wished me luck and said they'd be happy to have me back. But so now
Is there, you know what? It's their damn fault. They made you wait so long after the interview.
This is true. If the grocery store, I went there the one day for an interview, and then they're like, well, can you come back tomorrow because the store manager's here? So I came back the next day. It was local, fortunately. And he's like, well, can you come back the next day? When the bakery manager's here. And so by the time the grocery store, and then they're like, well, we'll get back to you because I had previous experience and they were going to start me at higher than the starting rate, but they had to get approval from their HR, and then because it was the same corporation I'd worked for before, they had to transfer my information over. So by the time the Behemoth, one of the largest grocery chains in the country, by the time this Behemoth got itself sorted out,
are you saying Behemoth?
Behemoth, yeah, did I?
You're saying Behemoth or something.
Oh,
it sounds
yeah.
weird to me.
By the time the Behemoth had its stuff sorted out, yeah, I got an offer that was a better offer. So I told the grocery store, I said, I'm sorry, because I knew they were shorthanded and everything, and I did the best. I worked all the shifts I was scheduled, all the hours I was scheduled. I left them in the best shape that I could leave them in, but I'm like, I'm gonna be leaving you guys in 2 weeks, assuming that nothing goes wrong with the background check and the drug tests. But I don't. I haven't done anything that would make one not pass that. It would have to be a false positive or something. And don't have any criminal record or anything. So I knew I would 99.99% pass that, and I did. So I started, I'm in the middle of my 4th week at this new job, and they are training me because it's kind of technical. And yes, it's kind of very technical. And I spent some days training in a classroom and some days doing the hands-on at the facility. But it's something completely different for me, and I'm used to knowing my shit because I was in the same industry for a long time.
Kind of thing you've been wanting to do, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I like science. I like medicine. I'm a big nerd, but it's a lot to take in. It's, these things are, some people get into this as a college thing, and, it's a whole program, but they're trying to cram most of the learning into a couple weeks. Yeah, I'm Rich's fiance. Hi, I'm Karen. For those who don't know. And,
so you're right. Okay, you moved up here.
I did.
You've got a job now.
I do.
You're running out of excuses.
I am. Now I gotta get used to this job. Right now it's...
Oh! I see how it works.
No.
I see.
No, I mean, sometimes, some days I wonder, are they gonna keep me? I just feel I'm used to knowing... Oh. I know. I'm used to knowing my shit. And a lot of my classmates, it's like their parents do it, or they've done it before at another place, but... This is something totally new for me, and it's a lot of information, but...
You'll feel better about what you're doing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I get to actually help people directly, whereas there were although, in the grocery industry, you do get to help customers and you help them find stuff, but a lot of times it feels like you're the Minuteman in order to help the employer pick their pockets. And it didn't help that they would have, daily meetings where they would talk about their financials every morning. And it's like, how does that affect me? I'm just stocking and ordering for one department. I'm going to do that the best I can. And if that helps you meet your goals, yay. And if your goals aren't met, well, I'm the small part of that. So.
Karen is bona fide, and Rich, stay out of the Woolworths.
I don't have Woolworths. Is Woolworths anywhere?
What does that even mean?
It's like a I
know what it is.
Like a department store in England or something. Maybe here somewhere at some point.
I think they were here at some point.
We're under 50. We don't remember. Woolworths used to be here in the UK. The only thing I know it used to be in the UK because there was a song called Warrior and Woolworths by X-Ray Specs, and Polystyrene was singing it. And Polystyrene is my hero, this chubby, acne-ridden English girl. And some people think little girls should be seen and not heard, but I think, oh, bondage, up yours. 1, 2, 3, 4. Seriously, I love Polystyrene.
You should just sing all stream. That's what I think.
Oh, Lord. I think they already know I can't.
Oh, that was adorable, what we just got, Ren. That was absolutely adorable. 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's how she said it. 1, 2, 3, 4. She went way up on the 4. Bind me, tie me, chain me to a wall. I want to be a victim to you all. Oh, bondage up yours. Yeah, Polystyrene's rocks. But, so yeah, that's where my existence is.
Oh, I'm playing like crap.
Oh no, we signed our lease. We're for our current residence, not too long ago, and they've turned it all to being on computers.
We should.
If Rich wants to go to a gay bar, Rich can go to a gay bar. I'm not worried about Rich, but have fun. Gay bars can be a good time. I've heard. I've actually never been to one, but I wouldn't mind it. But anyway, oh yeah, so like it's all online in Hell Night, but it's all online, and they've like moved it to like Rent Cafe or whatever. So you have to renew the lease online. You used to be able to just go to their office
you
and
sign the fucking thing.
But now they want everything to be online. In theory, they want like all of your like maintenance requests and stuff to be online too. But it's just easier to just
it'll be that much
pop
easier
in
for them
there.
to ignore the maintenance requests.
Well, they've been pretty good. I mean, I had that one last time we had a maintenance request. I mean, yeah, the air conditioning, we got to get on them because they have not fixed it adequately last year, and now it's getting warmer. But last time we had a maintenance request,
They didn't fix it at all last year, despite numerous complaints.
But
I don't know why you wanted to stay there.
We had the issue with the closet because moving is a pain in the ass, and it's close to work, and
all right.
the biggest reason is moving is a pain in the ass. If you did some legwork and said, look at this place, we can get this that's better in this way for that much, I would be open to suggestions. But so anyway, they want you to sign up online. So I tried to do this. It didn't work. I went to their office. I said, I tried to do this. It didn't work. They said, well, you got to go here. I went there. I tried to do it. It didn't work. I go back to their office, and I'm like, well, it's not working. So they sat me down. They kind of walked me through it. I knew what I was doing. I tried to sign on. I said, well, it's saying that my registration code doesn't match my name. Okay. So they print me out a piece of paper with my code, and it says, dear last name, first name. And I'm like, okay, but my last name and my first name. And so I said, is there any possibility that you guys in your system have my last name as my first name? And they did.
Karen, they're just boobs.
Yeah.
They're
Boobs. Once they straightened that out, I was able to sign on to the Rent Cafe, but I still had to sign my lease as my last name and then my first name. And I said, do you guys care? And they said, well, not really. I said, well, I don't care either.
Let's talk about something that's really important.
Like Guardians of the Galaxies?
Yes. What did you think of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2? Yes. Thank you for stepping all over my line.
Ooh.
I was trying to segue something serious. We got to segue into a joke. You just shit all over it, Ren.
I enjoyed it.
Just shit all over my joke.
I enjoyed it. It was sorry. Well, what were you gonna say?
No, it's way too late now.
The size of your underwear or something? Is what's more important? I don't know, something.
No, because it's a joke. We got to talk about something more important. Guardians of the Galaxy, and you just ruined it. You ruined it.
We got to talk about what?
Now you're talking about my underwear size
for some reason.
Let's just talk about Guardians of the Galaxy 2, for fuck's sake.
Okay. I liked it. I did. It was humorous as always. I still can't look at the blue guy. Can't think of his name. terrible with names.
Yondo?
Was that his name? The one with the mohawk and
Yeah.
the whistling at the arrows thing? I still can't look at him and not think Merle from The Walking Dead. But other than that... And he may not be typecast that way to everybody else. It might just be me. But the whole concept of him being like a cancer and the ridiculous
I told people
quoting of Brandy or a fine girl.
I totally gave you credit in the chat last stream about noticing that ego was like cancer.
I thought that was like
You know why
the whole
that's
point.
You know why that's okay? Because that's how the mother died.
Yeah, the mother died
Yeah.
of cancer.
Yeah.
And he was like a cancer. He was spreading everywhere and he wanted everything to be him and he had no interest in
Anything else?
Yeah, he was like a cancer. And yeah, Mary Poppins. Mary fucking Poppins. I've seen some cute parody things of that on Facebook recently. What are my top 3 films?
That's a great question. I have no idea what your top 3 are.
I don't know. I have to say, I'm very fond of Airplane. Cheesy as it is. Surely you can't be serious. I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
I should have guessed Airplane.
I really like Monty Python and the Holy Grail. And, yeah, maybe... Princess Bride, maybe?
Almost certainly with you.
Yeah, I'd say maybe The Princess Bride, Airplane, and Monty Python and the Knights Who Sing. Yeah, Airplane never gets old. It's just timeless and utterly ridiculous. Win just one for the zipper. I think my favorite part of Airplane is where the automatic pilot is deflating. And she's giving him a
Airplane
blowjob.
2.
No, she's giving him a blowjob.
That's
in
Airplane
one.
2, isn't it?
I think it's 1. See, like like for years, I only saw it on television.
I'm almost
we had a copy of it
sure that's 2.
taped off the television, so I never got to see until really not that many years ago. The bit, I mean, he had all the things. It looks like I picked the wrong week to stop, but the sniffing glue one where they turn the camera upside down, that was a nice surprise.
How much time have I got?
They're saying it's Airplane 1.
Is the autopilot 1?
Yeah, and then at the end of the movie, he pushes a button and there's like a girl autopilot next to him. And his name, when they do the credits, his name is Otto.
I get it.
He's an autopilot.
I get it.
Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit smoking.
Sniff a glue in.
Amphetamine. Oh no, he does them all. And apparently he tried to quit them all at once. And it was the wrong week. Maybe every week's the wrong week. Yeah, Roger. Over. Clarence. What's our vector, Victor?
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who's wearing his shorts, his Lakers shorts.
Yeah. And they're listing the symptoms and the guy's going through them at the same time. And the woman with the eggs in her mouth. And it's an emergency and they're all climbing on each other. And the woman, they're all lined. She's hysterical, so they're all lined up. First they're slapping her, then they're punching her. And there's a line of people with baseball bats and shotguns. It's a great movie.
All right, let's run. New run, damn it.
The Naked Gun movies are good too.
They're fantastic. The Naked Gun movies are fantastic.
And what was the one that they had that was kind of like a Gulf War era? It wasn't as good, but it's
Hot Shots?
Yeah, I remember that one. I think that one was okay, but not as good. They're saying finish a run, damn it.
Oh, I was almost dead that run.
Soul Plane? I
Here,
have
you
not
want
seen
me to
that.
finish a run? Suck on that. Suck on that.
In Soul Plane, does everyone speak jive?
Wow, I didn't wait for me to move.
That's a good point. Airplane's a rare example of a spoof movie. You don't have to be familiar with the source material. Yeah, a lot of it's just universal, like smoking or non-smoking. The ticket's smoking.
Which is 95% spite.
What's the other 5%?
Water.
Farts.
Oh, look you. You know, these people don't forget things.
I know, that's why I said it.
Oh.
You say you're 15% concentrated power of will?
Yeah, read it.
We got a tip from Brick Yeager. He said he recently saw Star Trek for the first time because Star Trek, I don't know. Is that the first movie or the first one in the new series?
Well, what do they say? What do they say?
In Enterprise S3 is better than Voyager, except the Doctor, and a lot of Deep Space Nine religion plot. Tomorrow
is that word for word what
tomorrow,
they said?
And tomorrow they're having another surgery. Well, they said we did a Star Trek for the one time because of broken leg, and Enterprise S3 is better than Voyager, except the Doctor, and a lot of DS9 religion plot. Yeah. Tomorrow is my second surgery. Wish me luck. Good luck to you. I hope you heal quickly.
I saw Star Trek for the first time because broken leg, and Enterprise Season 3 is better than Voyager, except the Doctor. And a lot of Deep Space Nine religion plot. Okay, I can see where the abbreviations are throwing you off. I don't even know what TMRV is.
Tomorrow, I think.
Oh, tomorrow. Oh!
Tomorrow
okay,
is their second surgery. I said good luck.
Tomorrow's their second surgery. Wish me luck. LOL, Meckets. Good luck!
Yeah, good luck.
Good luck!
If this was Star Trek, they'd just stick a injector on the side of your neck, and your leg would be fixed.
Probably. Do you have any Star Trek opinions?
Well, I like Next Gen better than the original, but I like them both.
Have you seen any of the other ones?
I've seen some of the Enterprise ones with the guy from Quantum Leap, Bakula.
Yeah.
I liked them.
Bakula.
I know they haven't been especially popular. That's some
an understatement.
I've seen some Deep Space. I've seen a few episodes of other Star Treks, and they didn't really grab me.
Well, Voyager's terrible.
But I definitely love Next Gen, and I grew up watching Star Trek.
Fuck me. My awful runs.
But am I as big a Star Trek fan as Mike? Probably not.
No.
I mean, I'm a casual fan. I'll admit it. I'm not like a die-hard, knows every single episode number by heart.
I love Star Trek, and I'm not as big a fan as Mike.
Yeah. But yeah, do I enjoy it? Sure. Can I name the major characters? Yeah. I guess. I know, it's like the internet, you know. It's like, are you a fan of something? Well, are you a big enough fan of something? You know. If you're asking that question, probably not, but I like it. Oh, the trouble with tribbles. Anytime I see anything that looks remotely like a tribble, I think tribble. Koosh balls, tribbles.
Alright, see what happens if I play a little bit more recklessly. Fuck it. Fuck it.
They're hoping for a live reaction video of Rich getting annoyed watching the Star Trek Discovery trailer. Is that another movie?
New TV show.
They're bringing out another TV show?
Yes, straight to CBS's specialty streaming website.
Is this... Oh, does that mean they're going to interrupt it with commercials every 5 minutes?
Probably not if it's on their streaming site. But you're going to have to pay, like, a monthly fee.
Oh, so it's like
you know,
Netflix.
Yeah.
Somebody says it's a gritty sea boot. Is it like a next gen era? Is it like classic Trek or like?
It's okay. It's
like
supposed
Enterprise?
to be. It's supposed to be before the original series, but the art design looks like whatever the fuck it wants.
I want to see a series with Captain Christopher Pike. The Adventures of Captain Pike.
You're never gonna see it.
I liked that episode.
Jeffrey Hunter has been dead for a long time.
Well, I know it wouldn't be played by Jeffrey Hunter unless it's a zombie flick.
You probably wouldn't have much luck there either.
I have no idea.
The zombie flicks don't use actual zombies.
No? What's up with that?
It's all smoke and mirrors, kid.
You could have a great posthumous career as a zombie. You could put some strings on
Well, you know what? You can, actually. Now that I think about it, you can. They did it with Peter Cushing.
Who? As in Cushing's disease?
No, Peter Cushing. He starred in a movie recently, a good 20 years after he died.
Oh, the Admiral
Right.
Akbar or whatever his name is.
Tarkin.
Yeah, that was it.
Oh, shit.
It says they have Pike in Star Trek 2009. Oh, yeah, they did, didn't they?
Yeah. He's not the star.
No. Then I'm assuming they had somebody else play him, because Pike would have been... Hunter would have been pretty old by then. If he wasn't dead by then. I don't know when he died.
Well, he died in a car accident, like 70s.
Oh, okay.
60s, possibly even late 60s.
Okay, so he never lived to be an old man.
Yeah. Do you know why he didn't play Kirk? Well, you know why he would. You know why Jeffrey Hunter did not star in Star Trek: The Original Series?
I don't.
Christopher Pike. His wife walked into the studio, walked up to Gene Roddenberry, and said, "My husband Jeffrey Hunter is a movie star, not a television star." His wife wouldn't let him do it.
What?
His movie career didn't do anything after that. He died in a car wreck filming some shitty Italian movie.
He died.
A few years later.
Died during the
A
filming?
few years later. I don't think it was when they were shooting, but I know it was in
Okay.
Italy. I think it was in Italy because of some kind of movie.
Well, I hope she's happy. Wow.
Well, yeah, I'm sure she was delighted when her husband died in an auto wreck after missing out on starring in Star Trek, the original series. I'm sure.
Maybe she
I'm
was.
sure she was delighted.
Ugh. And then they came up with Shatner, who's Shatner?
A joke, but he made it work.
He did, remarkably, because he's...
If you ever watch the pilot for Star Trek, The Cage, Jeffrey Hunter would have been fine.
Oh, yeah.
It'd have been slightly different tonally. It would not have been...
Because he
like,
was...
Shatner's a fucking ham.
Well, Shatner was like space cowboy.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Hunter was like... More like Picard, you know? He was
Like
more
an adult.
More cerebral, yeah, more mature. He actually seemed to be bothered by people dying who weren't Spock.
Well, in a non-cartoony way.
Yeah, in a serious, nuanced...
Spock, these people are dying.
He probably would have sung better, too. Couldn't sing any worse.
I'm a rocket man.
You ever hear Nimoy sing? He's done it, too.
Bilbo Baggins?
Singing? I don't think I've heard that particular thing.
Oh, God, look it up.
And then there's, what's his face?
He sings a Bilbo Baggins song.
I'll have to look that up, because I know whatever I heard him sing, it wasn't that. Him and, Who's the guy that, I can't think of, the Baywatch guy?
Hasselhoff.
Hasselhoff, yeah. He's pretty bad, too. I don't know if he just thinks people will buy it anyway because I'm famous, or if because he's famous, people are afraid to tell him that he maybe is not the best singer.
They seem to like him in Germany.
Somebody said Hunter was too Vulcan. Nimoy wouldn't have anyone to play off. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know that Hunter was too Vulcan. I mean, there was emotion there, but I suppose there is an interesting contrast between Nimoy and Shatner. because Shatner is so Shatner. And Nimoy's character is Spock.
That's true. I'd still be really curious to see an alternate universe where Jeffrey Hunter starred in the original series. I would like, as an alternate universe, I would love to see how that turned out.
More than you wanted the alternate universe where you're a billionaire?
Well, yeah. Yeah, because I'm not going to be in the alternate universe when I'm a billionaire. It's going to be some other me.
That's true. Some other you who's a billionaire who's watching Jeffrey Hunter and reruns of Star Trek. Because, you know, it doesn't have to be only one thing changed.
Oh, fuck me.
An alternate universe where DS9 was actually good.
Deep Space Nine was good. I don't know what you're talking about.
I've only seen a limited number of them.
It's a fine show. It's a very different show.
I mean, I've spent most of my life without cable.
It's a very different show. Star Trek is about peace and humanity overcoming things, and Deep Space Nine is about specifically not that.
War and humanity doing the same shit over and over again? That sounds a lot like the real world.
War and politics and technology fails us. We gotta fall back on religion to save us.
Yeah, Star Trek Next Gen was kind of avowedly atheist.
Yes. Blatantly.
And sometimes
blatantly.
Sometimes more than blatantly, yeah. Sometimes almost judgmentally.
My favorite Star Trek The Next Generation episode is about Captain Picard trying to stop a primitive culture from forming religion.
Well. You're not religious. I don't know that religion is always bad.
No, I don't know that either.
I think
Ren.
humans find a way to screw up religion, but then humans find a way to screw up just about everything.
I will tease you and religion, but no, I don't think every aspect of religion is terrible and everyone who's religious is stupid. I don't think these things. I really don't.
Star Trek is solving problems and not facing long-term consequences. In DS9, you face those consequences, and oh boy, do they face them.
No, see, Star Trek isn't about not facing the consequences. Star Trek is about, we already took care of the problems and the consequences.
Oh, every time we warp, we're like polluting the universe, and we're going to rip the fabric of space and time. We'll never mention it again.
It was one lousy episode of TNG.
We'll never mention it again. BGB, if Rich and I had everything in common, that would just make life boring. We'd have nothing to tease each other about. Where's Jack? Jack's coming.
He'll be here.
Oh, as Tiberius Kirk claims, no, they did mention it again. For the rest of Season 7 and in Voyager, and it sucked. Season 7 of which?
Next Gen. Shit.
I don't know. I don't know if I've ever even seen all of the episodes of Next Gen. It's not that common that I look and someone's watching one and I haven't seen it. But there may be some I haven't seen. I know Rich likes to watch stuff while he's falling asleep. And he's probably seen them all.
Of which?
Next Gen? You've probably seen them all 5 times.
Yeah. I've seen all of Next Gen, yes.
I don't know if I have or not. I mean, I can't really remember the last time I saw one and it was one that I had never seen, but it could happen. I should literally sit into Jack until he gets here. I mean, I should act like Jack? I don't know how to talk like Jack. I used to be a wedding DJ, and when I was really hungry, like if the wedding party wasn't generous and they didn't feed me, I'd go to the bartender and I'd get a Coke and ask the bartender to put as many olives in there as he could and try not to puke. Nah.
For the record, I'm not
not
normally this bad, but when you're streaming and talking, your concentration isn't fully where it needs to be.
Yeah, we were looking for some game that I could play, but all of them were either going to take forever to download, or I'd never played them before, and I didn't know if I would like them. And he's like, well,
We've streamed with you before. You'll play something
Yeah.
for 5 minutes, and you will completely lose interest.
yeah,
So
I'm not a very good
I'll just
gamer.
play something while you talk.
I'll get fixated on one game and play it a lot. Otherwise, I'm not much of a gamer. Like for the last few months, it's been Animal Crossing. Although I'm starting to get a little over that one.
What? You mean
Yeah.
I'm going to get to use the DS to play some of that Zelda game?
Maybe. Well, like the last few days, I haven't been able to do much because I accidentally sold my shovel.
You accidentally stole your
No, I
shovel?
actually sold my shovel in one of the
Oh.
stores, so I have to wait for a shovel to come up again. So I'm just kind of like, oh, are there shovels in the store? No. Anything interesting in the store? No. Okay, close it. But I haven't done it for a full year yet, so there's a bunch of like different daily things that come up that I haven't done yet. Like
So right
definitely
now,
want to see the 4th of July things, and
right now it's just a miserable grind, is what you're telling me.
it's been a short grind because I haven't really been bothering with it because I don't have a shovel. Oh, I'm gonna get the golden shovel one of these days because every day I've been buying a bag of fertilizer, and I think that's how you get the golden shovel.
Virtual world problems.
They said I'm not the real Karen.
Why?
I don't know. They said Strafe is playing you.
What?
I'm like 5 feet away from him.
Strafe is playing you.
I have no idea. I figured you'd know what that meant. I have heard about the Animal Crossing music plugin that plays time and season appropriate music in my browser. And one of these days I gotta finish setting up my computer so that I can have a Windows-based computer. And then I can do it. Right now I've been working on my Chromebox.
Don't climb up the ladder, turn around and shoot! Ah!
And the Chromebox is kind of delightfully hassle-free. I mean, I'll give it that. It's bomb-proof and it's virus-proof. But you can't really install software on it. Oh, it just occurred to me. He's Brick Jagger like Mick Jagger.
What?
The guy who gave us the tip earlier.
Oh!
So is he a Lego fan?
You have
I'm
to-
asking him. I know you don't know.
There's so much in this life
Hackbot
that
says,
I
to
don't
pass
know.
time on the farm, Jack would go out and chuck corn for fun and tip cows. I saw a thing about that, and they were saying it would be really hard to tip cows. And the biggest reason being that cows would just kind of move their legs so that they would keep their balance the same way you did if somebody, was trying to, if a child was trying to tip you over, you wouldn't stand with your legs right together. You'd be like, okay, well, I'm going to widen my stance, or I'm going to move over this way a little bit, or I'm going to gore you with my horns. Well, maybe not. Yeah, that's exactly Hackball Wolverine. I've heard you really can't tip a cow unless,
Wait, who,
maybe
what?
there's something wrong with the cow.
Hackbot is not a person. Hackbot is a program that's saying pre-recorded lines.
Is it?
Yes.
Wow.
Usually it's quotes of things we've said on the stream before. So you're not having an actual discussion. I just want you to know this before this goes on much longer. I had to stop you from having a conversation with them. Hey, you know what? Hackbot, it passes the Turing test. So, there's that.
The Turing test is that you can't tell it from a person? Or?
Yeah.
Well, just because I can't tell it from a person, maybe normal people can. This is just Karen.
You're above normal people.
Ooh. Do you remember Dr. Spatzo?
I remember that would entertain you for hours.
It would. It was just so much fun. It was a program that came with Sound Blaster, maybe? Sound cards in the early to mid-90s, and it was like a fake psychology program. Like, you'd be like, hey, Dr. Spatzo, I want to kill myself. And it would be like, why do you want to kill yourself? And you'd be like, because I hate life. And it would be like, you hate life. Tell me more. Tell me about your mother. And just... was just program, but it was cute. But it was fun to try to get it to come up with something other than that. So you'd like tell it you loved it, and it would say it's in love with a math coprocessor and different weird shit. It was fun to find the weird non-standard stuff in there. They said Rich has no interest in anime. You might think he just hasn't watched the right one yet, but you'd be wrong. Oh, that's the Hackbot. The Hackbot's got interesting comments. I like Hackbot. I want to hang out with Hackbot. Hackbot makes fun out of Rich and Jack in amusing ways. See, Hackbot says that wet ass smooth as butter.
That's a rich comment.
What is the context?
There's a video game. There's a playing a video game called Nier Automata, where the player character was a lady with an attractive rear end. And,
Rear butt, as
yeah.
opposed to the front butt.
Yeah, and there was some kind of problem with the stream where it looked. It was the graphics were smooth for us.
Okay.
But it was choppy for everyone watching it. I said the problem isn't the game. The game is running fine. That hot wet ass is smooth as butter.
Sounds kind of like what was that volleyball game with the jiggle physics?
A little bit.
Do they ever have a version of that for women?
Dong physics?
Yeah, dog or just hot male butt physics.
There's a Conan game with dong
tech
physics.
physics. Is there really? It's like
Yes.
flopping around.
The character creator, you can enlarge the genitals.
Are they? Can you control the turgidity?
Turbidity?
Turbidity?
You will have to ask people about Conan Exiles. I don't know if you can control those kind of things.
Yeah, I think maybe there's a slider, erect 0 to 100 and
You might
size.
You might be curious enough to look into this.
I mean, it might be fun to see if it goes to ridiculous levels. Like you can make it be 2 feet long and like so erect that it's like
Honestly,
overlapping the abdomen and poking out its back.
Because they know that's the game's only selling point, I think you can.
That's cool. They say you should play Keep Talking and No One Explodes. We played that.
Played that before.
Well, we played that. I think we do that on stream when we played it with your sister and her fiance and
that wasn't streaming. That was. I think we just came here and played that. That wasn't a stream.
We deprived them. We had a good game of no Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. About a few months ago. His sister was over. She lives overseas, and her fiance, and his dad, and his stepmom, and his other sister, and me. Karen might like RimWorld. That sounds kinky. Are there any other levels in this game besides the ugly ass girl
Yes.
one? I kind of second that. This looks like Quake circa 1998 with slightly more detailed walls.
Oh, that's the point. The commercial for this game, since it's 1996.
So why don't you just go play Quake? Quake 2.
Well, it's got roguelike elements.
And I'm getting sick of looking at those orange monkey boys.
Well, that's on me for playing shitty because I'm distracted and I'm not.
Have I read the Discworld novels? I've read Small Gods. Rich would like Small Gods, and Small Gods rocks. Whenever I think of turtles and eagles and yeah.
The fuck are you talking about?
There's a book called Small Gods. Terry Pratchett, you've heard of Discworld?
Yes, I have.
There are a lot of Discworld novels.
I understand.
And Small Gods is one of the more popular ones, and it's... The main character is a monk, as I recall, and it's funny. It kind of pokes fun at religion and culture in an amusing, lighthearted way.
Okay.
And it makes an interesting point at the beginning of it. It points out that supposedly, and I think this might happen, that eagles sometimes pick up turtles and drop them. You know, to split them. Just an easy way to get at their guts.
Right.
And kill them and keep them from running away ever. And the game it makes the amusing suggestion that one day this will cause turtles to evolve flight. It's not really how evolution works, but he's not a monk, he's the guy who sweeps up for the monks. Yeah, he's like some kind of special monk. Terry Pratchett's daughter is writing for video games.
That's good for her.
Yeah. I didn't know he had a daughter. Never really thought about it. I mean, sure he might.
Don't know what the fuck you want me to do about it.
He's been gone, what, about 2 years now?
I don't know.
He had some kind of weird form of Alzheimer's. Or other dementia.
Didn't he live to be like a 90-something, 100?
Are you thinking of Arthur C. Clarke, the guy who wrote 2001?
Oh, you know what? I might be thinking about that.
Yeah, that blows my mind that he was, you know, not a kid when he wrote 2001, and he lived to see 2001 and 2010, not 2064, 2061, and definitely not 3001. 3001 was kind of silly with the Velociraptor gardeners and stuff, but I enjoyed it.
Velociraptor gardeners, huh?
Somebody makes the point that it makes more sense for a turtle to develop more weight so it can't be lifted. Oh yeah, the turtle was the god that lost all its fathers. Yeah, there was like some kind of thing where these gods derive strength from having believers.
I'm doing terrible in this game today. I cannot start.
Did he really die in 2000? Terry Pratchett died in 2008? No, it has not been 9 years. No way. That can't be right. I mean, it might be right, but shit. Look that up on my phone real quick. Because if that's true, I want to know where the time goes.
You're going to die. We're all going to die.
Yeah, but if he died 2015, yeah. That sounds a little more. Oh, Arthur C. Clarke. No, Arthur C. Clarke died in yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, he was like living in like Sri Lanka forever. Apparently it suited him well. I think he was an Englishman. Douglas Adams had the gods that derive strength from belief. Sure it wasn't Terry Pratchett too?
Could have been a number of places.
I don't know, Douglas Adams, I remember the electronic monk and his horse, and he had some kind of glitch and he believed all kinds of stupid things. Yeah, I've seen the movie 2010, but it was a long time ago. I've seen 2001 a lot of times. I love the choice of the classical music, but yeah, it's trippy as heck. Some of the the color palettes and stuff, maybe I'm weird, but it reminds me of The Shining. It's not the same person, is it? Did Kubrick do both of those? The Shining and 2001? Were those both Kubrick?
Is that a question you were asking me?
No, it's really a question I'm asking you. I am that ignorant about film. Did Kubrick... I know Kubrick did 2001. Did Kubrick do The Shining? I don't know. You're the movie guy.
Does this look like a cave on Mars?
On the screen, or...
Here!
You know, I can pretend like I know stuff about movies, but let's face it, you know, I am not
yes,
average.
He very much directed both of those films.
Then that explains
it's
why
what
they
he's
kind of
the most famous
some ways.
for out of everything in this universe. It's 2001 and The Shining.
It's 2001, but The Shining too, okay.
Or the moon landing, depending on who you ask, but I don't believe in that.
Oh, they think somebody specific did it?
Kubrick. They think Kubrick did it. Some people.
Aww. Somebody says, Kick Girl V5? I don't know. Says, you being here is the best birthday gift I could have asked for. I'm always happy when you hang out on the stream. Lots of love to you and Rich. Never quit being so adorable together. Aww. Thank you, and happy birthday. We've been busy. We haven't had that much time. My schedule's been like nuts lately. So we haven't had that much time to be adorkable together, but like whenever we're together, like every day we try to play some Bookworm Adventures too. It's like our little nerd habit.
We can do some of that tonight if you want. I just figured we're not going to talk much when we do that, so we should probably.
Oh yeah, because
now.
Because you're looking for words.
Yeah.
Kubrick did not direct Jurassic Park. Somebody's just saying that.
No way, he did not direct Jurassic Park.
I don't believe that. I'm gullible. I'm not that gullible. I don't think I'm that gullible. Adorkable, yes. I have a shirt that says adorkable. It's got a cat wearing nerdy glasses. It's dork and adorable.
Just try to make them think that somebody other than Jonas Salk invented the polio vaccine. You know, because you know smart things, you know important things, you know relevant things.
Well, I mean, which polio vaccine? Salk had one and Saban had one.
What's this one?
Salk had one polio vaccine. I think Salk's was a killed virus vaccine.
Same time?
No, but not too far away from each other. And then I think it was Saban that came up with a live one. And the idea of the live attenuated virus is that you would actually shed it. And so, if I'm not mistaken, you'd be passively immunizing the people around you. So it was an interesting twist on things. So I think Salk had the first polio vaccine that worked, but not the only one. And not, I don't think, the one that we use now. You know, kind of like smallpox. The first way of immunizing people against smallpox was to inoculate them with the sores of people who had mild cases, you know, variola minor. They called it elastrum, but they would like scratch it into your skin. And then later on, they figured out, well, cowpox is similar enough that you can inoculate people with cowpox, although that gives you a nasty ass scar.
Better than polio, or better than
oh yeah,
smallpox.
Well, I mean that's the whole idea. But then once the disease is really uncommon, then you stop vaccinating people because the 1 in a million chance that they're going to die of the vaccine becomes greater than the chance that the 0% chance that they're going to get it. We were headed that way with measles, but the vaccination rate has gone down.
Yep.
And measles is incredibly contagious. Oh yeah, I'm all in favor of herd immunity because not everybody can or should be vaccinated. I mean, there are some legit reasons, like, the kids on heavy-duty chemotherapy, or sometimes if people have some forms of eczema, it can greatly increase the risk of, bad side effects. But if you had like 90-some% of people getting vaccinated consistently everywhere, there wouldn't be enough hosts for measles to keep going from person to person because it doesn't have an animal reservoir. Hopefully someday. This minigame looks like Game Boy.
Yeah, Wolfenstein Game Boy style, which is really weird.
And ugly.
Eh. I'm down with it.
I can't even really, except maybe Tetris, I can't even play Game Boy anymore. The game just looks so ugly. Even if you change the colors with like the...
Oh, it's always, it's fine for Tetris. But, yeah, Game Boy was never one for the looks department.
It had great longevity, though. I mean, what was it, like 10 years? Before they between the Game Boy and the Game Boy Advance. It's a long time. My favorite Animal Crossing characters? Are we talking about like the regular NPCs or like the villagers? Let's see. Well, I mean, you know, I like Tom Nook. I think everybody likes Tom Nook.
You love Tom Nook.
I do. I do. I like KK
You like
Slider.
the
Everybody
guitar
likes...
dog.
Yeah, that's KK Slider.
Okay.
I like the pigeon who lives in the kind of lives in the
I know who your
cafe.
damn favorite is, and don't you pretend it's anything other than Mr. Rossetti.
Oh God, yeah. I don't know why I wasn't thinking about him. I was like mentally thinking about who lives in, you know, like the owl lives in the museum, and this one is here, and this one is there. I was thinking about like where they're located and mapping out the town in my head that way. But oh my God, Rossetti, I just love winding him up. In the new game, you actually have to go and like build stuff just to get him in your town, and he doesn't yell at you as much. But I love Rossetti, and I love now you can go and visit his reset center, and fuck with him. Karen and Tom Nook sitting in a tree. Well, I don't think we have to worry about a baby carrot. It's just like an interspecies thing. There doesn't seem to be any interspecies romance going on in that. Nobody seems to have any kids either, though, one way or another, in that game. All these talking animals. And nobody talks about, like, lifespans or anything. Like, the mice don't, you know. It's not like, oh, the mouse died. No, the elephant's gonna live to be 90. Yeah, that's true. The Animal Crossing people have eternal life, no need for kids. But as far as the people, like the villagers and stuff, I mean, there's some that look absolutely adorable that I've never had. Like I think there's one called like Meringue or something, and she's like a rhinoceros who has like a cherry pie in her head and a strawberry for a horn or something. I mean, it's just something ridiculous.
If people were immortal, children would be the worst thing ever.
Yeah, it'll be like that mock thing with Adam and Eve, that cartoon thing where they don't eat the apple and they just like screw until the entire earth is like 20 feet deep in people. And so like God goes and shoves an apple in her mouth just to get things rolling and get the population down a little. Because all they're doing is like multiplying.
Yeah.
But my favorite villager that I actually have, you know, I really like Hopper. He's like a crabby ass.
I'll hear you talking
penguin.
into that 3DS all the time. Hopper.
I do, yeah.
Hopper.
Rich will be like, "What's going on?" Like, what? And I'll be like, "Nothing. I'm talking to the game." Because I'll be like, "Hopper, Hopper," trying to figure out where he is so I can go, you know, give him an apple or whatever he asks for, do his chores.
Tell them a story about Walker.
Oh yeah, so I was over at my parents' house.
There's a character called Walker.
Yes, there's a character called Walker in the game.
For anybody who doesn't
He's a
have,
dog, actually.
For anybody who doesn't have Animal Crossing on 3DS, why are you talking to it?
Because it has voice recognition, and if you call a critter's name, that critter will tell you villager. Well, yeah, a villager, an animal, an anthropomorphic animal villager.
One of the characters in the game.
One of the characters. They will. The NPCs will answer you too if they're out in the open. But they'll tell you where they are. They'll say like over here, and the over here bubble will get bigger if you're close to them and stuff. So you can figure out where they are without having to hunt everywhere for them. And so I was over at my parents' house, and they have 2 dogs. And what do dogs like? Walks. So I'm on one end of the house, basically. And I'm sitting there, and I'm talking to the game, and I'm going, "Walker, Walker." And all of a sudden, the dog... And it was the middle of winter. It was so fucking cold. And it was late. And this dog comes in. Oh, did you just suddenly decide you want to go for a walk with me? And I just kind of passed it off like, I don't know what your deal is, buddy. Because it was just too cold. I mean, I felt a little guilty, but it was like, I don't know, it was like 5 degrees and like 1 in the morning, and I just did not feel like taking this dog for a walk. But he would have dearly loved it. Am I mean? Maybe. It wasn't my kindest, best owner moment, but I wasn't trying to fake him out. And I did not know that he was within earshot of me when I said it.
When Jack gets here, ask him if dogs have emotions.
Does he think they don't?
Just ask him.
Does he think they're like robots, or
Just ask him.
that they're simply reactive?
I think, well, Jack grew up on a farm,
Sure.
and I think he had to get his brain to deal with slaughtering these animals occasionally.
I have not seen Bigfoot versus D.B. Cooper.
You don't want
I know
to.
who D.B. Cooper is, though.
Bigfoot versus D.B. Cooper is a gay porno.
Oh, jeez.
Mm-hmm.
But no. Do I think dogs have emotions? Sure. I think they've got, in some ways, they're probably more emotional than we are because they don't have any way of distancing themselves from it. Intellectually, they're different from us. You think dogs should vote? They'd be real easy to,
Manipulate.
yeah. You want a cookie?
Vote for me, I'll take it in a walk.
Okay. I mean, delayed gratification isn't something that dogs or children are really good at. I mean, I've heard dogs compared to intellectually to like 2, 3, 4-year-old kids, and I think in a lot of ways their impulse control is kind of similar. They're a little special. But dogs are good people.
Fuck it. I need a good run. Playing out of my normal environment.
And I'm a dog person. I mean, I see a dog. Rich knows. I'll see a dog, we'll be driving in the car, and I'll be like, oh, look at that dog!
I could be bleeding to death. On the way to the hospital, you will stop to look at a dog on the road.
And when I come out of our building, if I see somebody walking a dog or something, I'm like, oh, does he like people? Oh, hi, dog. I'm like, I want to be friends with every dog in the world. Dogs and I get along just fine. Tobin Gnome, I like cats, but I'm allergic to them. I've never lived with one, so I feel sometimes like I don't speak their language. Like I have trouble figuring out when they're happy and what they like. Of course, if one of them goes and jumps on my lap and starts purring, I'm pretty sure they like that.
I'm getting really anal now about taking damage, and I shouldn't, but I am.
Yeah, dogs can be high maintenance for sure. They don't like to be... They need stimulation, and they don't like to be alone. They can deal with it to a certain extent, but they'd rather never be alone. They'd rather be up your ass 24 hours a day. That's what they're like. They're just dogs. Am I getting a kidney yet? What's wrong with the 2 that I have? Is there some kind of running kidney gag?
I think I mentioned about the one kidney story at work, the person who couldn't get one.
Why couldn't they get one?
They had some kind of heart issue. They had some kind of medical problem where they couldn't get their transplant.
Who?
Something you were telling me about your new job.
Somebody couldn't get a...
They were scheduled for a kidney transplant.
Oh, they got their kidney transplant.
They did get it.
If you're talking about there was a person who went off and they got a kidney transplant, but their heart was I guess
but they did get the transplant.
they got the transplant, but they're
I thought they didn't qualify anymore because they found out.
no, they got a kidney and they put it in, and I guess they had done a cardiac workup. Karen with a Y. I knew a Karen with a Y. We were friends in junior high. It was kind of weird, Karen and Karen, but neither one of us spelled the usual way. But yeah, they got their transplant and they had a cardiac workup like a year before or something. I guess maybe they're supposed to have them more often or something. But anyway, they started having heart problems after their transplant, and now because they coded 3 times, the kidney is damaged and they're on dialysis, and they're hoping that the kidney will recover from the. I mean, they're not in good shape, but they're not dead. And yeah, my favorite band.
That's a good question for you.
Yeah, but there's so many. I really like the Velvet Underground. I used to be crazy into Nirvana. I don't know if I'm into them as I used to be.
Really? Really?
But I like them.
Wow.
I like Leonard Cohen. There was a time when I would have said REM, but that time passed.
Marilyn Manson?
They were never my favorite,
No.
but I used to like him, and I still like a lot of their stuff.
Didn't you see Marilyn Manson before he was big?
He was just starting to get big. I
He
saw
was just
him
starting
at
it, but you saw him at like a really small venue.
Yeah, it wasn't real big at all. I don't know how many seats they had, but it was like a small like theater kind of place. I saw him in Chicago, and this was like right when they were touring for Antichrist Superstar. And then the next day I saw them in Milwaukee.
Right.
Because
Really?
and actually my friend was going to go see them in Chicago and Milwaukee, and I was just going to see them in Chicago, but I think she was worried her parents were going to wig out or something, because her parents were religious. Like, she had a shirt that said "Goddamn this noise inside my head" upside down and backwards on the back of the shirt, and her mother like tore it up into pieces, and she went and sewed it back together, which was kind of badass looking. This Franken shirt, yeah. But and you probably know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But her parents
could be one of two people in my line, but I'm pretty sure I know who you're talking about.
It's the one that lives down south now.
Yeah.
But yeah. So then I went and saw him in. You're seeing Richard Cheese Friday. Oh, I like Richard Cheese. And I like Weird Al. We saw Weird Al. At Navy Pier. Yeah. He puts on. I don't know what he does now.
I
He's
can't
getting
imagine
older.
him doing that anymore.
But when we saw him,
it was a really good show.
It was about 10 years ago. It was a great show. He put on the fat costume. I mean, he had all these costume changes and different things. I mean,
Every song was a costume change.
Yeah, it was a fun show, and a bunch of nerdy people with like spatulas in their hair or something.
He wasn't young then either.
No, he's middle-aged.
And he did full fat suit.
Yeah.
And that wasn't even early in the show.
And it wasn't even wintertime. And it wasn't even indoors.
I don't know how the fuck he did it.
Yeah.
Jumping around in that fucking thing.
In the summer. I mean, I don't think it was an especially hot day.
In the summer.
But in the summer.
In the city.
in the
summer.
Hot
in the
summer
city.
in the city. Back of my neck getting dirty and gritty. Pinned down. Isn't it a pity? But anyway, yeah. So I have no idea if he does as many costume changes. Oh, somebody said he saw him 3 years ago and he's still doing it. Yeah, if you get a chance to see Weird Al, the man puts on a great show. Why aren't I sitting in Jack's seat? I don't know. Where does Jack usually sit? I'm on the opposite side of the couch from Rich. I just took a shower. My hair is wet. And I just didn't feel like I just got home from work. I just didn't feel like doing anything or being on camera. But I'm here. Yeah, I know he's a vegan and a serious performer, and something bad happened to his parents a few years ago. But that's about all I know about him.
That was
personally.
around when we saw him, wasn't it?
Possibly. Why is Jack invisible and sounding like Karen? I am Jack. I am Jack's complete lack of...
You are Jack's invisible presence.
Yeah, I am Jack's invisible presence. I remember that movie and watching it, and he goes and crashes his bicycle. And I'm thinking, did he crash his bicycle because he was reading? But the other one of it was reading? Fight Club is such a mindfuck. I am Jack's invisible spleen. Somebody says they'd be picking on Rich about things that never happened. Do I listen to any electronic music? Not so much lately. I mean, I used to like the Orb and Orbital, and a little Aphex Twin. Is it true that you spend a lot of time at the Club Dicks?
We did the end of the last Best of the Worst where I dropped the tape off at a gay club.
A real one?
Yeah.
Just like outside? Did you go in and do a
all,
little dance?
It's filmmaking. It's all smoke and mirrors, kids. But yeah, the episode made it look like I spent 48 minutes just hanging out there doing Lord knows what.
Yeah, Aphex Twin can be pretty good. He can also be pretty damn full of himself. Like, I would like some milk from the milkman's wife's tits. I swear to God, those are real lyrics. Not his best.
Who was this?
Aphex Twin.
Okay.
I think that was like the Richard D. James album or something. I don't know. That came out a while ago. So, is one thing Rich loves. So there's one thing Rich loves. Cheese? Cheese fries?
Yes.
French fries with or without cheese? Cheese with or without
With.
French fries? Cheese fries and French fries together? We still haven't gone
Cheese
to
fries
that.
and French fries together? No, that's just going to dilute your cheese.
We haven't gone to that place yet. There's a place on
that
is it
Philly
27th?
cheesesteak place?
yeah, there's some kind of place on 27th where they have like gourmet cheese fries. And also I still need to try poutine or whatever it is. I've never tried it.
Shockingly good.
However many million Canadians can't be wrong.
I'm sure they can. Millions of people have been wrong plenty of times.
Somebody said, I'd like some French fries without the cheese, and can you make it not fries?
No, you need something for your cheese to latch onto, and fries are perfect for that.
Broccoli.
Yeah,
Or,
that's
or
fine.
cauliflower.
You know, I mean, really, you want something. Potatoes are meant for cheese.
I think, though, if you're just going to have them without cheese, I think I'd rather have sweet potato fries. I know you and I are in disagreement, but I like that kind of sweet and salty mix.
I don't like the sweetness of the sweet potatoes.
They want to know how your diet's going.
Oh, poorly because of the winter.
Yeah, we were like biking by the lake and stuff, and we haven't started up yet. It's been really chilly.
It wasn't so much a diet as it was being more health conscious.
Yeah, and I was making us grilled chicken a lot and whatnot, and vegetables, and I gotta get back into that. But I have to say, this new job has been kicking my ass.
I know.
It's gonna get easier, but right now, it's stressful because I'm trying to learn a whole bunch of new things, and it's complex. And also, I have to be there. Like, I'm off tomorrow, which is why I'm here, and I took a nap after work, and then came here. But I'm up. The latest I have to be there is 7:30, and on those days I have a bit of a commute.
Sometimes you have to be there a lot earlier.
Some days I have to be there a little closer to home, but I have to be there at 3:30 in the morning, which means I'm getting up at like 2. Which means that if I want to get 8 hours sleep, which I usually don't quite manage, I have to think about being asleep by 6. And sometimes I'm not getting home till like 5:30. But it's going to get easier. And the part where I have a decent commute is the classroom part, and there's going to be a lot less of the classroom stuff ahead of me than behind me. And it should be an definite improvement over the grocery store in terms of
everything.
In terms of everything, in terms of pay, in terms of benefit, in terms of ability to do something where I feel like I'm contributing to the world. Not that you can't contribute to the world, gross. Well, I mean, somebody's got to do it, but. And I don't like when people say, oh, you're too smart for a grocery store or something, because I know there are idiots and there are geniuses working in grocery stores for a variety of reasons. There's one guy we had working in the meat department for a while He was a college professor because adjuncts really have a shitty existence, but he was like a college chemistry professor. And he dressed like Terry Pratchett. He was like a chubby Midwestern Terry Pratchett chemistry professor, meat department closer. Yeah, we eat too much fast food, but we try to like eat more Subway, and
It's still bad.
it's still bad.
We need to get back to the grilled
We need to get
chicken.
back to the grilled chicken. You can make some grilled chicken. I can show you how.
Oh god, I think I've tried that before and nearly killed myself with raw chicken.
When it's pink, it's not done. I think I've mentioned before the hot dog thing. Have I told them about the hot dog thing?
What hot dog thing?
Remember way
Is it
back
super
when
embarrassing, whatever it is?
well, maybe a little bit. When we first started going out together, I was over at his house and he was having some hot dogs and he was microwaving them, and I said, "Could you boil mine instead?" And he said, "How?" And I said, "Well, hot dog in water and water hot.
How
I
long?
don't really care which way you..."
How long? I don't know.
There's not really it's already cooked. So it really doesn't matter. I mean, I guess it's probably better if you make the water hot and then put the hot dog in it, so that you're not... But hot dogs are kind of so oily that the flavor doesn't really leach out too much anyway. So you can kind of do it any way you want. You basically stick the hot dog in the water and have the water be hot. Really, it works in any order. But I usually prefer to do the hot water first, but I don't think it would be noticeably worse the other way around. Space Cop can't cook hot dogs? Mind blown. He can now. There are a few ways to fuck up a hot dog.
I usually just not boil my hot dogs. You shove them in a microwave. That's how I did it.
My mom likes to tell the story of the time she walked in. When I was little, I liked hot dogs, and I liked raw hot dogs. Well, not really raw, but hot dogs out of the refrigerator.
Yeah.
And one time she walked in, and I apparently couldn't get it open because I was sitting there. I was sitting there on my bed, gnawing the hot dogs out of the package. This big chewed up plastic hot dog mess. But I was little, like toddler little. I got into a lot of shit when I was little. They should have put a lock on my door or something. Cause I know she said one day she walked in, I had all four burners. This is like the apocryphal story she always likes to tell. She walks in, Rich.
Mm-hmm.
I got all 4 burners going on the stove, and I'm sitting at the table unwrapping packages of razor blades and lining them up. And she's like, "I didn't want to scare you because I thought you'd cut yourself, so I just started talking to you. What are you doing? Can I have those?" And she said, she checked my hands. I just had one little nick on one finger that wasn't even bleeding. But yeah, I'm sitting there. I got all 4 burners going on the stove, and I'm at the table playing with razor blades. I'm sure she felt like Mommy of the Year at that point. It was time for some better child privilege. But see, my parents, when I was a kid...
I'm glad you didn't kill yourself.
Yeah. Well, it was the era when everybody had those chairs with the casters, like the fake leather chairs with the casters. And those are just perfect if you're a little toddler. You just take the chair and push it where you want it and climb from the chair to the counter and just get into whatever. Bacon wrapped hot dogs. I don't know if I've ever had one. I like the Annie Ann's. Is it the pretzel place? They've got like croissant wrapped hot dogs or something. I know they look almost exactly like dog treats, but they taste better. You once wanted to see if your knife would get hot if you touched it to the wires in a toaster. Was your knife the only thing that got hot? What is my stance on turkey bacon? It's not as good as regular bacon, but it's better than nothing. It's a step above that stuff that Morningstar Farms makes. That kind of fake bacon.
Bacon.
Yeah, which kind of looks like Play-Doh. Yeah, Annie Ann's does have good pretzels. The cinnamon ones are really good, but I don't think they have the strawberry cream cheese anymore, and that used to be really good.
But you like pretty much everything that Morningstar Farms did.
Not the burgers were okay. The bacon, it just, if you didn't do it just right, it ended up being all dry and kind of awful. Garden Burger makes the veggie riblets that are better than regular riblets. They're so good. I think those are probably my favorite vegetarian meat stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What is turkey bacon? It's bacon made from
bacon
turkey.
That's not bacon. Yeah.
Yeah. It's bacon for the health conscious or people who have a religious objection. Or who don't want to eat mammals but do want to eat birds. Runny eggs? Oh no, I could just never. I know lots of people like them, but that yellow stuff just grosses me out. I always do my eggs scrambled or hard boiled or something that makes the yolk not be runny. Who doesn't want to eat mammals but is fine with eating birds? And I don't know. I mean, pesca vegetarians eat fish, and there's probably somebody out there who doesn't eat mammals. I have no idea, but I'm just thinking that's one possible reason why you might prefer turkey bacon. Or maybe you're Jewish or Muslim, or if there are any other religions.
Could be less fat, too.
Yes,
yeah.
that's why I said health conscious or religious reasons or ethical concerns. Why would they name a farm after Satan? I wondered about that myself, actually. I'm sure the same people who think, like, Pain Celestial is of the devil or something probably think Morningstar Farms is.
Oh, yeah!
I know. I've noticed that before. I can only assume that whoever came up with that name didn't think of that.
I was wondering what the heck you were talking about.
Somebody here is claiming that there's a chain store in Australia called Lord of the Flies that makes vegan burgers. Some vegan burgers are good. Am I a fan of avocados? I dearly love avocados. Avocados are awesome, whether they're made into guacamole or not. In fact, like, one of my favorite, like, easy, quick breakfast things is I take egg whites and I put them in a paper bowl, so I don't even have to clean anything up, and cover the bowl with something. And I cook the egg whites, in the microwave. And then I cut up some avocados and put that on there, and sometimes some grape tomatoes, and maybe a little cheese. It's really good, and some black pepper. The avocados, I mean, they're good even if you just put a little salt on them. I do love avocados. Yeah, they are a good source of healthy fat. So is almond butter. Almond butter is really good with apples and a little bit of honey and some salt. I know, I need a nutritionist. I need a personal chef. When I see, like, these movie stars and they are, like, not in great shape, Mm-hmm. And I wonder, I'm like, if I had all that money, I think I would just pay somebody to cook for me. And I'd be like, make it healthy and make it low calorie.
I presume some of them
do.
That's what they do.
Oh, for sure. The ones who don't, I wonder why they don't. Or maybe they just, have their weaknesses. The particular favorites. What instruments do I play?
Skin flute?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. The radio? I do not play anything. Yeah, ich spiele das Radio. No, I don't play anything. How do I prefer my steak? Medium rare to somewhat rare. Not
rare.
Not bleeding rare. Not blue rare. I mean, not rare. But, yeah, I like it. I like it rare-ish. Medium rare. Rich said I was musically inclined.
Well, listening to, not necessarily performing.
I like music. I never learned to play anything. Like my parents, I wanted to play something and they probably guessed rightly that I wouldn't have stuck with it. I'm guessing. I don't know. But I never played anything. How do I like my ice cream? Frozen? I like all kinds of different ice cream things, except I'm not really big on spumoni, whatever it is. I'm not really big on things that are, what are those things called? Pistachio flavored, except pistachios. I wanted to be in a metal band. I always thought it might be fun to like have a joke band where you just played like kids' instruments really badly on purpose. Rich said I like horses.
Oh,
That sounds like
I did not say that.
that sounds like a quote from do you like horses? Have you ever been to a Turkish prison? Joey. Sounds like something out of Airplane. I don't dislike horses, but I'm not a... Horses have not played a big part in my life. I've got nothing against horses.
Horses are stupid.
You're stupid.
Yeah. Doesn't mean horses aren't. What you got to say about that?
They say you've been to a Turkish prison. You were the warden. You ever sit in a cockpit? I have sat in a cockpit, actually. I went to Germany when I was in high school. It was kind of a... It wasn't quite involved with the school, but the teacher was kind of chaperoning it. So, kind of. Because I took 4 years of German in high school. And I did get to sit in the cockpit for a little bit, and my goodness, that's a lot of little lights and things.
Tell them about your Germany adventure.
Well, I was like 17. We were there for 2 weeks. We started in the northern part, like Berlin. I don't know. I don't know if we started in Berlin, but I remember we were in Berlin, and then we were in like the Black Forest, and then we ended up in Bavaria. And got to see Neuschwanstein, King Ludwig II's castle. The one that the Disneyland castle is supposedly based on, and it was pretty neat. Can I make you babble about Star Trek?
Babble?
Didn't we already babble about Star Trek?
You can't make me babble about it. We can talk about it, but... I've not seen this Discovery trailer.
Traveler Speaks says, I like horses. I used to help look after rescue horses. Aww. Yeah, some horses definitely need rescuing, and they're not exactly the easiest pets to home compared to like a dog. There are a lot more people who are capable of taking a dog into their home than people who are capable of taking a horse. How many people died building Neuschwanstein? I don't know, probably a couple, and that crazy-ass bridge next to it. And King Ludwig II, I mean, what a nut. I think he was having an affair with Wagner. How about you, Rich?
Yes, definitely.
They want us to watch a new trailer now on Steam.
No.
Trailer for what? People capable of taking a home into their dog. Well, my parents' dog is kind of big, so maybe if it was a small home.
Are we
like
talking
a Motley
about
house?
Are we talking about Clifford?
What's a Schwanz? It's spelled with a W, not a V. It's a tail. It's the German word for tail. If it means other things in German or Yiddish, I'll let you look those up. Why am I a disembodied voice? Because I just got off of work and I didn't feel like being on camera. Need a quick Karen cameo with my still probably wet hair here.
No, don't. You're not their slave. Aw. Aw.
Is that better?
Aw.
Oh. Did I secretly kill Jack? Yes, we're eating him right now. See, Rich, the chat got your kiss, they say.
Thanks, guys. The plan worked.
They said they didn't see that. Could I do it again? They said I could be on my 4th day of a bender and still fit in. Friday every day. Rich is the little honey. Rich ist deine kleine Honig. Aw. He's my little honey.
Sorry, I'm trying to concentrate and not suck.
They want to know if Jay's the actor who played Malachi in Children of the Corn.
No.
It has been so many years since I saw that. It's one where like the whole town was full of like damned children.
Yeah. Well, they weren't damned.
I don't really remember what they were.
They were in a cult. They killed the parents.
Was that it?
Yeah.
I mean, literally, last time I saw that movie, I think I was like 8 years old.
I don't know if it was in the movie, but I think the book had like some kind of demon in the corn that was, you know, corrupting them.
Have I been watching any good TV shows? Not lately. We're totally looking forward to the next season of Kimmy Schmidt. One of my classmates, I was showing that to her. She was talking about what's good to watch and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I was telling her about Kimmy Schmidt, and I was trying to describe it, and I'm like, no, it's really funny and it's really upbeat, but like, she was in an underground bunker for like 10 years and she doesn't know about anything. But it's a comedy. And she's like trying to live in New York, and then I played, of course, the theme, you know, unbreakable, they're alive, damn it, it's a miracle.
I like it when you like things.
I do.
It's cute.
The Stephen King drinking game? How does the Stephen King drinking game work? And then when's season, like, what's this fall, right? Is the season 2 of Stranger Things? I loved Stranger
October.
Things. I loved Stranger. We watched, I think between when his brother was over and regular, I think I've probably seen it. Like, I don't usually rewatch stuff that much, and I've probably seen it
Never.
3 times, like the whole thing of Stranger Things. I love it. Anytime Stephen King makes any kind of reference to Maine, you drink a drink? I don't know. Have I seen Legion or Black Mirror? I have not. We were watching Narcos, the first 2 seasons. We're not sure if we're going to watch the 3rd season.
Is there going to be one?
Yeah, supposedly there's going to be a 3rd season of Narcos. But I don't know what it's going to be like after Pablo Escobar's
Bad.
dead. Pablo Escobar.
It's going to be bad.
What blew my mind about that was when I found out that, Wagner Moura was Portuguese and didn't speak Spanish. And like had to learn Spanish for that
Slowly, because people don't know any of the details going up to this.
So Narcos is a TV show, and it's about Pablo Escobar and the...
Who was Pablo Escobar?
Pablo Escobar was a drug lord in the 80s and 90s in Colombia, in South America.
He's the reason you know what cocaine is.
No. There was cocaine before that, the 70s. You know what cocaine is from Staying Alive or Boogie Nights or something.
Yeah, but it became a thing that was in something like Staying Alive because of Pablo Escobar.
Maybe.
Who I almost single-handedly imported all that shit into the country.
So the movie is about Pablo Escobar, who's a drug lord from Colombia, and about the law enforcement people who are trying to take him out. And it's just really good. But the actor who played Pablo Escobar, originally they were going to film it in English, and instead of what they did do, which was film it with Spanish
in Narcos,
with subtitles.
in the show, it's they're speaking Spanish.
Everybody who speaks English natively, the conversations are in whatever language they would have been in when they really happened. So when you've got 2 Colombian people speaking to each other, they're speaking Spanish, and the only time they're speaking English really is when the main character, well, not the main character, when the DEA agent who wrote the book that it's based on, or whoever started,
Right.
when this guy is talking to other Americans, it's in English, but otherwise it's in Spanish with subtitles. And so they took they casted this guy named Wagner. I don't know if he says Wagner like the German, or if he says Wagner or Wagner. Wagner Moura, I think that's how you say it, but he's a Brazilian, Portuguese-speaking man, and they casted him to be Pablo Escobar.
Because originally they were going to film it.
It's going to
be English across the board.
And he was like, well, accented English. I got that.
Yeah.
But then they they decided that they were going to film it in the languages in which it was spoken, which was, originally transpired, which was mostly Spanish.
But nobody thought to ask the actor they hired to play Pablo Escobar if he could actually speak Spanish.
Yeah, because originally that wouldn't have been an issue.
Which he could not.
Yeah, so then he went to Colombia to go learn Spanish so that he could speak Spanish as Pablo Escobar. And I've heard mixed reviews of his Spanish. I being mostly monolingual English myself with a little bit of Spanish and a little bit of German, I am not in a position to evaluate how good his Spanish sounds. Whether or not Wagner Moura's Spanish sounds like good Spanish or good Colombian Spanish. I know Colombian Spanish and, like, say, Mexican Spanish sound very different. I can hear that. Colombians complain that Pablo Escobar didn't do his Spanish accent good enough. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I asked one of my Facebook friends is from Colombia. He's from Bogota. And I asked him, but he never did get back to me. He just mentioned, oh yeah, I met Pablo Escobar when I was like 13 or something, but things became such a mess afterwards in Colombia that he left and took his wife and kid and came here.
Basically started a civil war.
Yeah, and that's when this man came here, and he's been here for a long time, but he never did get back to me when I put that comment on Facebook and tagged him in it, asking whether or not
Pablo Escobar
had good Colombian Spanish.
He was rich and powerful enough that when the Colombian government finally decided we're going to take this guy down, Pablo had enough money and resources and power to wage a war with his own government.
Yes.
And basically win.
And then he decided that he would agree to go to, quote, air quotes, prison, which was basically like a mansion that he built, and he had like famous soccer players come and play for him there.
He turned himself in, but he got to go to the prison that he built. That was a luxury mansion that wasn't actually a prison, where he was running his drug empire like normal.
Did the SEALs whack him? Did the DEA agent whack him?
Other drug families eventually eroded his power.
Well, I mean, as far as who killed him, I mean,
I think it was the Colombian and. I'm sure the CIA was involved in some degree, but that's not the reason he fell from power. Yeah. He fell from power because of other drug lords who got sick of him, basically.
My mic got fucked up. Can you hear me now? No, yes, maybe. Yeah, it said he did supposedly burn some money to keep his kids warm, and it's an interesting story. I mean, he's a complex character. He did some things that were good. He did some things that were not good.
Didn't one of your former coworkers like met him as a child or something, right?
Yeah. He said that because I'm friends with him on Facebook. He was my department head at one point at a previous job in Illinois. He's not with them anymore either, I don't think. But yeah, I mentioned that I was watching that, and he said that he met him when he was like 13. I don't know the details. I mean, he was just a kid, and he was just from the same place that Pablo was from. Curse my mic? You can't hear me? Is the mic off? Can you hear me now?
Hold on.
Here, you fixed my mic, and I gotta.
It's gonna be hard to fix when you're not talking into it.
Just give me like a minute.
This should be fine. Hello. That looks okay to me. Chat, is this working? Chat? Is this the thing that's working? It's fixed? Okay. glad we can clear that up. It's working. Has it been crapping out a lot? Has she been going in and out all night? I need to know. As needs to noses.
Did you miss me?
Did you read the new Quizzard 78 thing here? I don't know if that's new. Did you read this one?
No, the last one I read was the one about the person who was having surgery, second surgery for a broken leg.
Okay. Quizzard 78 says, have you seen the new Star Trek Discovery trailer? If not, did you ever like Babylon 5? I have not seen the new Star Trek Discovery trailer. I tried to get into Babylon 5. I did not make it through the pilot episode.
Oh my god, I haven't thought about Babylon 5 in about a decade.
Yeah. Rich, you're looking miserable as always. Well, thank you. I'm feeling quite fine today.
It's just his face.
Do I always look miserable?
Yeah.
Yeah?
He always look kind of mopey.
Oh.
These Mike and Ike Zowers are good.
I can't do anything about that. That's just the way I look.
They want to know if you can watch Farscape.
Yes, I can.
Why couldn't he? Resting bitch face? No, he's got like resting mope face. Resting Blade Runner face.
Shit.
Resting misery face. Well, congratulations, Bad News Shoes. Or Bad News and Shoes. They want to know what's wrong with your face!
The
Have I seen the latest
begin.
Best of the Worst? I have not.
She doesn't watch Best of the Worst.
You'll see bits of it when you're editing it. Mostly if
I don't edit it.
Well, when you're...
I'm just watching the...
Yeah. If I watch stuff that he's in, I make him self-conscious.
You can watch stuff I'm in. I don't care. Watch whatever you want. What time is it?
What's the worst movie I've ever seen? You know, there are some bad movies out there, and I really didn't like The Room. I would say that was pretty bad, but I think the worst movie I've ever seen is Weekend at Bernie's 2. We just spend the entire movie watching a corpse walk around with headphones on, underwater, and everywhere.
What about Weekend at Bernie's 1? Nobody ever talks about Weekend at Bernie's 1.
It wasn't as bad as the second one. I see there when I grew up there was a Guardian. Did we see Guardians 2? Yeah, we saw Guardians 2. I think we got into that already.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Did you have any thoughts about it? I know you weren't super into it.
I thought it was cute that I guess the Groot stuff was cute and some of the stuff that but in some ways it seemed like it was just like they were pressing all the, the fans are going to want this, check that box. The fans are going to want that, check that box.
Yeah?
Yeah, somewhat.
They took the characters and they did emotional things with them. I was fine with it.
But I liked when the purple guy with the veiny things all over him, what's his name, Drac or something? Drax?
The big guy?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Drax. I don't know that he's purple.
When he was telling the girl, you're hideous, but you're pretty on the inside.
Jack is backseat gaming from the chat, huh? Tell Jack to get his ass over here.
What are spooky urban legends around the greater Milwaukee area? We're not really native.
I couldn't tell you about Milwaukee area. I could tell you some about Chicago. Resurrection Mary.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
Go ahead. Do it. You're better storyteller.
I don't know a lot about it. Supposedly, there's Resurrection Cemetery, which is on the south side. And I guess supposedly, like, people, is that the hitchhiker one? Where
Yeah.
people will see a young woman hitchhiking the side of the road and they'll pick her up and
I think
she'll disappear during the ride or
she
something.
takes you to the cemetery or something.
Yeah. I'm sure there's different versions of it. There used to be this guy, he died, called Richard Crow, and he would do like these haunted Chicago tours where he would basically take you to the different sites that had haunting legends about them in Chicago, mostly on the south suburbs.
What's the story behind Downers Grove Cemetery?
I have no idea.
Why is it
Bachelor's Grove?
I mean Bachelor's Grove. Yeah.
I don't remember.
Well, I got fucked just because I went down an elevator where there were just 80 monsters.
I honestly don't remember. I like cemeteries.
Supposedly one of the most haunted cemeteries, you know, not that hauntings is real in the first place, most haunted cemetery in the country.
If I was going to be haunting, I would haunt St. James Church's cemetery out in Lamont Township. I mean, that is
that's
seriously
a cool cemetery.
It's an awesome cemetery with all these like headstones from like pre-Civil War. I mean, it's built like around the same time as like the Cal Sag Channel, and it's pretty fascinating. It's a great place to go. Actually, the church there, St. James, that's where my sister got married. Like 20 years ago. She's been... Yeah, I think she's been... Next year it'll be 20 years.
Oh, your
sister.
Your sister?
Her wedding anniversary will be 20 years next year. I like some... Actually, if you ever want to do like any kind of Chicago cemetery touring, you got to go to Graceland. That's where all the
I've never been.
movers and the shakers of the late 19th and early 20th century. The mayors, the famous people, the ridiculously wealthy, the Armour hot dog. I don't think so.
No?
The Armour hot dog guy. I don't know. Capone was probably in some special Catholic cemetery or Italian cemetery or something.
Possibly prison cemetery.
You never know.
I don't know how much money he had when he actually died of the syphilis.
Is that what he died of?
Yep.
It's funny. It's funny that he died of that and not all the violence he was involved in.
Oh, you know, he just died in prison.
And they got him for tax evasion, if memory serves.
Yeah.
Somebody says he died of heart failure. Well, those aren't mutually exclusive. I mean, it could have been syphilitic-related heart failure, or he could have had syphilis and heart failure, or, you know, something. Have you seen Kong Skull Island?
No. I'm not particularly interested in it, honestly.
One of my coworkers was saying that actually it was my educator. She was saying that at one point at a place where she worked, there was a guy who used to, so she was working like a hospital, and there was a guy who used to fall asleep, and when he'd fall asleep he'd grab himself, and he had an infection on his arm.
Yeah.
And they cultured it, and it was gonorrhea. So like he apparently managed to transfer gonorrhea from his dick to his arm.
Weird.
It is weird, isn't it?
And disgusting. There's some things I don't have to hear. You know? It's like I never have to hear them.
I gotta wonder what that looked like.
I don't wonder what that looked like.
Somebody says there's a syphilis that can't be cured by antibiotics. I don't know. I hope not.
Why,
I mean, with this
it?
antibiotic resistant stuff they got going on now, like, you know, multi-resistant TB and stuff, I mean, some of these diseases, they're not nice.
People have to use antibiotics right.
Yeah. Stop feeding them to cows.
If you
and all
ever
that
get
crazy
prescribed
shit.
antibiotics, use as directed and use the whole damn bottle, even if you're feeling better.
Yeah. And
It's important.
Don't try to pressure your doctor into giving them to you for a cold, because it's A, not going to help your cold, and B, going to fuck with your gut flora and potentially
Yeah, it won't help with
make
the
you
virus.
susceptible to other things. Yeah, it won't.
If you have a virus, just ask for a sugar pill. If
What
you
is
want,
the
if you
last-
want a big fat placebo.
What's the last concert I went to? I think the last concert I went to was Leonard Cohen, and that was a couple years ago now.
I didn't get invited.
You were invited.
When was I invited? I don't remember the invite.
Anyway, a friend of mine who currently lives in the Carolinas, she and I went a few years back, and we saw Leonard Cohen, and he was great. I was surprised. He got down on his knees a couple times, and nobody had to help him up. I mean, the guy was like 80. He was like 78 at the time or something. But yeah, he put on a good show.
Dying.
Huh?
Didn't stop him from dying.
And that his voice works with the material. But well, that's true. I mean, yeah, Tiberius Clerk taking antibiotics to stave
Tiberius
off
Clerk!
bacterial infections that might opportunistically take over. The only problem is that you're also potentially screwing with your gut flora, and that's a part of your immune system too that you don't want to shut down. So it kind of depends. I mean, there is no one right answer for everyone in every situation. You know, ask your doctor, read your internet, don't self-diagnose too much, and the usual. You're saying you're being an insane perfectionist with this game.
I know I am.
Somebody says that Tiberius was the most boring Roman emperor. Well, you know, there were some pretty crazy-ass Roman emperors. I mean, it's pretty hard to compete with Caligula and Nero.
Who's worse, Caligula or Nero?
Caligula, I think. I don't know as much about Nero, but Caligula was a sick-ass puppy.
I know.
Little Boots. You know that's what his name meant, right?
Yeah.
Little Boots. Oh yeah, that's right. He made a horse a senator. Yeah, they were. Yeah, Nero burned the city and Caligula tortured a bunch of people and did creepy sex things with children. I mean, neither one was good. I mean, you could get into like...
Was it children? I thought it was his sister.
Well, that too, but didn't he have like a fountain full of little boys?
I don't need to
Naked
know.
Boys or something?
I don't need to know. I don't need to hear about it.
You know, I mean, the thing about these emperors is that they were so ridiculous that you could say just about anything. You could be like, oh, he's the one who made his mother fuck a pig. And you'd be like, oh, really? Because, like, nothing is too outrageous to think it might be something that one of these guys did.
This one sucks.
So yeah, not the most compassionate humans. And yeah, of course, some people are... A lot of people do bad things for some people and good things for others. That they do things that are good for one group and bad for one group, another group. They say these kinds of games aren't for you.
I am like talking and my full concentration is not
distracted.
going where it needs to be. I have done better in this. I'm not beating it, but I've gotten a lot further than I'm getting.
You know, about the violin, there's a little guy that plays a violin at the end of one of the Tetris levels, and I always wondered if that was supposed to be Nero. Who's my favorite president?
Well, it's Trump, right?
Let's stick to past presidents. Who's my favorite president?
Doesn't the answer automatically have to be Lincoln?
Because I'm from Illinois?
No, because he ended the biggest mistake this country ever made.
Lincoln was pretty cool. I was thinking, you know, I mean, I don't know that much about what it was like to live under Carter. I was very, very young, but he's going building Habitat for Humanity shit. Sure as hell isn't Jackson. That fucker was crazy. Although he's interesting.
He was the Trump of his day.
Yeah, he was crazy. But, No, FDR, yeah, FDR, the New Deal or whatever, the fireside chats and all that, and the Tennessee Valley Authority and the Works Project Association or Administration or whatever the hell. Ulysses Grant is an interesting person. He struck me as profoundly uncouth, which is not necessarily the worst thing. Yeah, Lincoln was not as progressive as he sometimes.
It may not have been pretty, but he beat Robert E. Lee.
Yeah. Did he die of like lung cancer or throat cancer or something from all that tobacco use?
News at 11. Peasant dies of tobacco use, gets cancer. Yeah, that's... Did that all wrong.
Yeah, we went to,
I know, I'm being a jerk.
A friend and I went to, remember we went to, what's the name of that? The Pabst Mansion or whatever in Milwaukee, and it's pretty deluxe, but the guy had like a whole giant tobacco humidor, and he ended up with emphysema so bad that they put an elevator into it at a time when nobody had elevators. But I guess he never got to use it because he died of his emphysema first. And there's a tip from Quizzard78 with no message. Thank you, Quizzard78. Lincoln was a great vampire hunter. He doesn't get enough credit for that in the history books.
3 stars for I'm getting off to a bad start, or I feel like I'm losing too much of my shields in the first level. That's why I'm restarting.
They want to know if you're doing a no damage run.
We're not trying to, no.
And they say it's painful to watch.
Oh. Alright, you fuckers.
The graphics are painful.
They're supposed to be. Shut up.
They're giving me depression.
What?
Yeah. I'm gonna go cut because I'm looking at these graphics.
Oh, please.
Not cool.
Really?
You play it if you want to. I just like my games to be happy and sunny.
Oh, okay. But you don't care about the datedness of it. Or do you? I don't, whatever.
I don't care about the datedness of it. It's just everything is either red blood or green or gray or orange people who look like I don't know what.
Fat orange zombie men, of course.
Gilbert Gottfried plays Lincoln in a 1-minute scene in the Seth MacFarlane cowboy movie? That sounds bizarre. He's the one who talks like this, right?
Believe it or not,
Henry!
He talks normal.
Does he
in real
really?
life. That's not his voice.
Really?
Yeah.
Why would
He's
you
just in
do
general
that?
been very good at making sure he sounds like that whenever he's on camera.
It sounds just giant fucking annoying.
Yeah.
Like you want to just rip his vocal cords out by his...
That's his shtick!
Going up through his toes.
That's his shtick! It's totally worked for him.
Ugh. And him and Gary Shandling. I couldn't
What-
handle
what?
Gary Shandling's voice either.
That really?
Yeah.
Gary Shandling just talks normal.
No.
You thinking of Bobcat Goldthwait?
About who?
Bobcat Goldthwait.
I don't know. Maybe. Gary Shandling, he had like a TV show.
Yeah.
I remember him being really annoying too.
Wow.
But better ever late, Urban Crisis?
For what?
He says shit I'm late, and then he says better late than never. And then the
We were early,
the usual
technically.
expression. Oh yeah, we were for us. Yeah, we started early, and Jack's gonna be coming here. I'm marrying a man that's famous on the internet for his voice, but I like Rich's voice.
Lots of people don't.
Too bad. They don't have to listen to it.
You hate my laugh. I know that.
Only when you no.
It causes me great distress.
I don't hate your laugh. I just hate how loud you get. You get like ear splitting levels of, and we'll be like in a public place, and I'm like ah. Or you'll do it like an inch from my head. So we're like cuddled up together and something's funny. I don't hate your laugh. And yes, your laugh is legendary. I like his voice just fine. He's got a good voice. He's got a sweet voice. When I think of his voice, I think of sweet things that he said. And he's like extra sweet when he's being sweet. You know. They say you should never stop laughing.
Don't intend to.
They say your laugh sounds like angels dying. I'm sorry, Clarence. I'm sorry, Clarence. Attaboy, Clarence. I like Hackbot.
What is Hackbot saying now?
The wet ass thing again. You kind of need, if you want to have a shiny ass though, you kind of need like oil or something, because asses are kind of like water beads on them, you know?
In a video game, you just need the right texture applied to you by the person who made your model.
Well, yeah. Those are video games. Video games aren't real. They say your laugh cures cancer.
That's a common thing. I hear that a lot.
Somebody else says it gave you your laugh gave them crippling diabetes. All people close to Rich become deaf to certain frequencies. I believe that. Does anyone call Rich Dick? I think his grandmother did.
Yeah.
He had an uncle that the family called Dick.
Near the end, my grandmother couldn't tell the difference between us.
Yeah, when his grandmother, yeah, I mean she was old and she had dementia, I guess.
Yeah.
And so when she was going really senile, she would confuse Rich, her grandson, with her son, who they called Dick, who was also a Richard.
Yep.
Who he was named after. And who passed away young. So yeah. Yeah, his grandmother called him Dick. I think your mom called you Dick.
I think so.
Yeah, his mom's side of the family. Your uncle, maybe? I think your uncle calls you Dick.
Yeah.
Yeah, his mother's side, the older relatives on his mother's side of the family call him Dick. But his friends all call him Rich, except for his sisters.
I have no idea.
For some reason,
My sister's on my dad's side.
yeah, his sisters, yeah, he's got his parents had him
They divorced
together.
when I was very, very
yeah,
young.
his parents had him, and that's the only child they had. Those two people together, and they got divorced when he was tiny, and they both remarried, and they married different people. You know, they both remarried, and they both had more children, and his sisters on his father's side call him
Ricky.
Ricky for some reason.
Nobody calls me Ricky.
Nobody else calls him Ricky. Everybody else calls him Rich. Except for a couple of elderly relatives, one or two elderly relatives on his mother's side who call him Dick. The Evans family tree of dicks. What was your grandfather's name? Was he
John.
John? Okay, so no. If there's a great uncle Dick or something,
there were multiple
I don't
Johns
know.
in the family too.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of Johns. Your Uncle John, your grandfather John, your brother on your mother's side John, your uncles John. Yeah, lots of Johns. Every Dick and John and Harry.
Fuck. Wow.
Some people still name their kids Tom. People name their kids Dick, but they call him Rich.
Do I want
Not
this?
too many Harrys. Now it's like every Aiden, Michael, and what do people name their sons a lot now?
Oh, it's that tri-shop thing. I've never gotten this one.
Your brother Daryl, your other brother Daryl. What's his name? My name is Larry, I think. My name is Larry, and it's my brother Daryl, and this is my other brother Daryl. Why does Richard merit 5 nicknames? Well, it was like Rich and Rick.
Are we talking about
Dick.
nicknames or middle names?
Oh, I thought they were talking about all the different forms of the word Rich.
You know what? I'll tell you all. There's a good reason why Richard has so many nicknames. It was such a common name.
Yeah. But, like, Harry doesn't have a bunch of different nicknames. And Tom doesn't have a bunch of nicknames. I mean, nobody calls them Mass or Cass or...
I don't know. For a second, I thought they were talking about middle names. Richard, William, Thomas, Evans.
Well, we know why. We have a theory about that.
Yeah, pretty good theory,
I
I
just pushed
think.
a kid out of my vagina. I want to knock out as many...
Wait. You gotta set that up. You gotta set that up.
Rich's mother is the 6th of 7 children.
6 boys, 1 girl. Is
Yes,
what my grandmother had.
she's
My grandmother kept having... She wanted a girl. My grandmother wanted a girl.
Yeah.
And she kept having kids, and they were all fucking boys.
Until his mother. And then she thought her luck had changed, but she had another boy, and then she quit.
Then she was done. Nope.
And I think that there were some miscarriages, too, but I have no idea what the sex of
Probably.
those was. Probably were when you have 7 children. That 7 children who grow to adulthood.
And my mother just wanted to get as many of them out of the fucking way as possible.
Yeah, so she's like, okay, well, Richard, William, Thomas, I'll take care of my brother Dick, I'll take care of my brother Tom, and I'll take care of my brother Bill. And then she had John.
I got 2 of the good ones.
You got a son, John. She had a son, her other son, John.
Yeah. I got 2 of the good ones.
Yeah, you got 2 of the good.
You
2 of
never
your
met
favorite
Dick.
uncles.
He died before you were around.
Yeah.
Bill's a saint.
Oh, yeah. Your Uncle Bill.
Tom was a prick.
Your Uncle Bill is great.
Tom is an asshole. He is a fucking asshole.
Is he the one that lives in California?
No, that's Chuck.
Okay. Honestly,
Who
when
got
there's
as far away from the family as he possibly could and stayed there.
when there's 6, it's hard to keep track. I mean, I know there was John, and he was a character for the ages.
And he was a horrible alcoholic, and he's part of the reason I don't drink.
Yeah. I was being nice.
Man drunk himself to death.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And the bodybuilding and I'm still scarred for life. His Uncle John got into bodybuilding for a while, and one day he was still living with his grandmother, and one day I'm walking up the driveway getting ready to go in the house via the back door, which is how you got in there usually. I'm gonna knock on the back door, and who's coming the other way but his Uncle John in a pink Speedo with a fake bake in his 60s. Honestly. I'm scarred for life. That's what he said.
Biggest asshole. Well, I don't know if we want to get into that.
Yeah, no, but he was just, you know.
You know what? Fuck it. We're already there.
Yeah, he goes to...
My grandmother's funeral.
Oh, no, I thought you meant... No, that's not what I'm thinking of.
Oh, you thinking of something else?
I'm thinking of when he went to you. So, you fucking her yet? Every boy's gotta dip his wick.
We weren't...
It's like a creepy old
We were just
alcoholic.
friends at that point.
Yeah,
I had
we
a
were
crush
just-
on you, but...
Yeah, we were not even a couple yet.
Yeah. So you fucking her yet?
Is it any of your business, asshole? Oh, you're talking...
You dipping your wick?
Ugh. Who says that?
Yeah, the funeral thing is when my grandmother died.
Oh, Lordy. I was going to bring that one up.
We're getting ready to put her in the mortuary, the coffin, and he shoves his way up.
No. Let's start this
go
up.
for it.
Okay, so the priest wanted all the children to put their hands on the casket. That's where we get into this.
Yeah.
And so the drunken uncle who spent the entire day walking around with one pant leg rolled up and not noticing, he goes and he shoves his way to the front. He goes, "Me first. I'm the oldest."
Me first. I'm the oldest.
Yeah.
What a classy man. What a classy fucking man.
He was a dick, except that the uncle who was called Dick wasn't a dick. The uncle who was called John was the dick. Yeah. So he was the black sheep.